Hello, I'm John Detwiler. Today's question is, where is love in desperation? And the Bible text is from the 22nd chapter of Luke. Luke puts us in the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus expects to be arrested and put on trial for his life. And although Luke doesn't use this word, Jesus is in despair. My dictionary defines despair as abandoning hope, or as some might say, hitting bottom. Jesus tells the disciples, "Pray that you may not enter into temptation." Then Jesus goes apart from them and begins his own prayer. "Father, if thou art willing, remove this cup from me. But nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done." Then for quite some time, Jesus continues to pray until the sweat is dropping from him like blood. When he comes back to the disciples, he admonishes them with the same words again. Pray that you may not enter into temptation. Luke doesn't tell us exactly what Jesus was praying for all that time after "Thy will be done." But from his instruction to the disciples, we might suppose that Jesus himself had been praying for help against temptation. He'd been tempted before, of course, back at the beginning of his ministry. Then Jesus had laid some fine rhetorical moves on the devil and had made beating temptation look easy. At Gethsemane, though, even with an angel in his corner to strengthen him, Luke describes Jesus as in agony. It must have been some mighty temptation he was facing. To see that temptation more clearly, we can read on to hear what happens to the disciples, who have not prayed for strength, as they were told. A bit later in Luke, we hear how Peter becomes desperate and enters into temptation twice. First, when Judas and the authorities arrive to arrest Jesus, Peter draws his sword and begins to do battle. Jesus steps in, says, "No more of that," and heals the man whom Peter had wounded. Then after Jesus had been taken away, Peter lies about even knowing Jesus, just as Jesus had said he would. By our standards, Peter's first act might seem heroic, and the second one cowardly. But to Jesus, they are two instances of the same failing. Peter was unprepared for temptation, and he yielded to his baser instincts. In desperation, he forgot his discipleship. He attacked one man and abandoned another. As for Jesus himself, his prayer seems to have been answered. Jesus holds fast in obedience and love of the Father. In fact, after Gethsemane and the rest of Luke's gospel, there are no more miracles, no scourging of the temple, no more clever parables or witty comebacks. Jesus is at peace. His words and his actions are pure love. Love for Peter, for the disciples, the condemned criminals, and even for the mob. I identify with Peter. My instinct is to take action, to fix things. When I look at the crises of our world, I despair and I lose hope. I don't see a way forward, and I'm tempted to lash out or to turn away. But I can love.